Going on to my beautiful people out there, Elliot here with MovieFiles, giving you a brand new review. I just got done seeing Is God Is, and this will be a spoiler-free review for a film that I was very excited for. I saw the trailer about, a couple months ago, heard about it about a year ago, and I saw the synopsis that says, I want to see that movie, and I hope it's good. And man, you see the smile on my face right now? We're going to talk about it, but before we do so, I appreciate you all clicking on the video. Consider liking it, sharing it, subscribing to the channel as we run, sprint, jump, hop to our way to 100,000 subscribers, which is crazy, man. But anyway, Is God is based on a off-Broadway play. I believe it was in 2018, which I wasn't familiar with it, but after seeing this, I would love to see it one day, hopefully. But either way, it's based on a off-Broadway play, and Aleshea Harris wrote and put that together, and she did the movie, which is very rare. And let me tell y'all right now, it is a wonderful time to be a film lover because we are in a new era of up-and-coming, bold, unapologetic, unique, fresh directors, and Aleshea Harris just impressed the hell out of me, man. Like, there is a flavor to this film. There is a style. There's a personality that spoke to me, not only because it is very unapologetically black, but it's just as a film lover, we live in a time now, and this is I love me some IP, some sequels and prequels, but we get so much of that. We get inundated with that when you come across something so different, so unique, so bold, it just makes me happy to be able to experience something like I just experienced tonight. Now, by no means is the film perfect. We'll get into that a little bit later, but just hit the right tone, man. Aleshea Harris, God damn it, you put your whole damn foot in this film, yo. I am so happy to see someone bring their vision to the big screen, and I'm so curious to see how the play went, because this film it's a road trip film, it's a spaghetti western, it's a drama, it's a thriller, it's a comedy. She puts all these ingredients in a bowl and delivers something that I want seconds. I want to go back for thirds, put it in the microwave, heat it up. I'm eating this all week because I enjoyed the hell out of what she brought from her direction, her writing. I talked about the personality. There is like little things of like how the sisters talk to each other without speaking, but there's subtitles on the screen. There is a pace to this film. There's this unpredictability about this film that I just quite enjoy. And I can go on and on and on about her, but she is someone that's now on my radar. I need to see what she needs to do next. I need Hollywood to put her on the map. I need more of this from Aleshea Harris. Hell of a job. Now, this movie has something that really made me happy, and that is performances that were electric. We have Cara Young and Mallori Johnson playing the twin sisters, and I'm just going on. I'm buzzing right now. I didn't even tell y'all, might not even know what this movie's about. Quick little synopsis. Is God is about two young girls who were involved in a domestic violence situation when they were little kids, and that domestic situation involved their dad lighting their mom on fire while they were in the bathroom, and they unfortunately got caught on fire as well. So they grow up, one of the sisters is more severely burnt than the other ones. Both of them were burnt, but one was more burnt than the other, and they just grew up with, number one, their parents were in their life, and I won't get into the reasons why, spoiler-free review, but one of them, they grew up in foster care, in foster homes, being picked on, being made fun of, and you can just imagine what that would be like growing up in that type of situation. And these sisters are so close. They literally spend every second together to a degree. I won't get into, what happens when they're not together. But anyway, the idea of these sisters and who they are together, but who they are individually, and getting back to Synopsis, years later when they're 21, 22, they get a letter from their mom, and she invites them to see them because she's dying, played by Vivica Fox, by the way, and this is a very Quentin Tarantino, Kill Bill vibe, and I don't think it's a coincidence they brought Vivica Fox to play a mother seeking revenge. But anyway, they see their mom because she's dying, and her dying wish is for her girls to find their daddy and kill that SOB. That's the journey. That's what we're on. My goodness, getting back to the performances, Cara Young plays the sister that's a little bit more in your face, and she is protecting her sister and herself. She's got a personality that could be, aggressive, but there's a reason behind that because of how they were raised, and she has to always be on defense because of, people picking fun of her. I thought that Cara Young was exceptional, man. Really enjoyed her performance, and you can understand, while you might not think that she's making the right choices, you understand the choices she's making, because there's a hate there, there's a pain there, there's a frustration there, there's a, I wish I can do this, or I wish I could do that, I wish we could have not been burnt, what would our life would have looked like? So I thought that she was great. But then the performance that really stood out to me, and everyone was great in this film, and we'll talk about the performances here as far as the supporting cast, but Mallori Johnson plays this sister that's more timid. She's the one that's burnt more severely in her face, and the quietness is there, and that's a tough role to play reserved and be kind of, not spoken, not a lot of spoken word, but there's a strength to her quietness. There's a curiosity about her quietness that I thought was fascinating, but there's something inside of her that as the film goes along that you start to discover, and I thought that both of them was great. Individually, they were great. Chemistry between the sisters was exceptional. So direction, writing, performances, and then you got those ingredients, but then you're like, you know what? Let me add some more salt. Let me add some more seasoning. Then you get Erika Alexander, who, as a 90s kid, Maxine, and seeing her in this film was so great, and her little section in the film and the religious angle and how that ties into the narrative of this film, and just like how people can allow themselves to connect themselves to people and yearning for people and yearning for the idea of people. Like, I thought her section of the film was exceptional, as well as you have Vivica A. Fox, who I mentioned, who was exceptional as the mom, and the way she wants her daughters to get the revenge and how she puts them on this path of revenge and what that speaks to her as a mom, but you can understand the vengeance. But I thought she was great. And then you go ahead and add in one of my favorite actors in the entire universe, and that's Sterling K. Brown, St. Louis own. If you guys don't know, I live in St. Louis, but St. Louis own Sterling K. Brown. I have seen a lot of his performances. I ain't never seen Sterling K. Brown like that. That's our Xavier Collins, y'all, for my Paradise fans out there. The performance that this man gives, he's the dad that lights his wife and kids on fire, so he's an SOB. But goddamn it, every time that man was on stage, I said, give me more, because he was just so damn evil and so damn manipulative, and just he pulls you in because of you just like, you can't be that damn bad, right? Are you that bad? We need more of this, Sterling. I love the hero. I love my Xavier Collins. I love all his performances. The closest thing I could think of, and it's not even that close of a comparison, but if you guys have seen Waves, one of my favorite films of all time, he plays a dad that's very strict. And that's like the closest I've seen Sterling K. Brown as far as a villainous role, but nothing like that. I mean, nothing like what I just saw tonight. Oh, he was evil, but he was so damn good playing evil. We need more of this, Sterling. I think he's playing the villain in Voltron, which I'm not excited for, but he's in it, so I got to see it.
Why don't you sit with me? Seems like we got a lot to talk about.
Sterling K. Brown was great. So, man, I can go on and on and on about the tone, the personality, the themes, the allegories. This has like a blaxploitation like synergy to it, but in a modern lens. Speaking of lens, it's beautifully shot. I love the score. Again, this film just is bold, man. It's bold. It's so bold, and I love that. It's so creative. If I were to be, and not even nitpicking, but this film does kind of drag in certain elements of the film as far as when we're on the journey. Not every stop that we go on is as exciting as the other. There's a little nitpick there. But I will say the third act is something that I'm still kind of pondering, still kind of sitting on. It sticks to landing because it speaks to just like a theme that's going throughout the film about when you get revenge, if you can get revenge, how do you feel about it afterwards? But there's just some elements that I wish was fleshed out a little bit further. And there's a decision towards the end from a particular character, and I just wish we could have sat with that decision a little bit further, because it just kind of, it wraps up in like a bow. I'm like, I'm not talking about this is the way it wraps up. It felt too perfectly tight and put together. There's a lot more to explore there. So I will say I'm not entirely sold on how the film wraps up. But even before that, first act, second act, really strong, really energetic, really fun. And the third act gets dark as hell. I mean, the whole film, the premise of the movie is dark, but when we get to the third act, it hits a level where you just sitting on the edge of your seat, biting your nails, because you get the most. This is the most where Sterling K. Brown character is involved. But I'm still pondering about that third act from a decision a character makes. But, maybe one day we'll talk about spoilers. But nonetheless, y'all, wrapping this thing up, this was an exceptional film. And I just am so happy, like I said, to be in a time to experience a director that I think has a voice that I'm excited to hear more of what she has to say in this medium. I'm going to give Is God Is for the direction, the story, the unpredictability, the unapologetic nature of its approach of the storytelling and the performances, and just the boldness and creativity of it. I'm at a 4.5 out of 5. This is one of my favorite films of the year. This film is available in theaters on Friday. Y'all can see from my energy and my enthusiasm that I recommend you all see it if you have the means to do so. If not, the film will be available because it is an Amazon MGM movie. It will be available on Amazon Prime, but I think this is one of those films that when you see it with I saw this with an audience, a large audience, and this was just that experience enhance the viewing experience. But nonetheless, 4.5 out of 5. Is God is as of right now at the time of this recording my favorite film of the year. I said it, and obviously we got 6 more months of the year, or 7 more months, whatever months we got left. But this is dope, man. This will be on my top 10 list for sure. I will be shocked if there's 9 other movies that bump this out of my top 10. I'm not saying this, it's going to be number 1 by the year. We got Dune, we got Odyssey, but nonetheless, very happy that I was able to experience this, and I hope you all get to experience it. And when you do, we got to talk about it in the comments below. What worked, what didn't work, favorite character, least favorite character. Do you want to see more of Sterling K. Brown as a villain? Because I do. I just want to see more of Sterling K. Brown in general, but I also want to see more of Carol Young, Mallori Johnson, Aleshea Harris. Make another movie together. Y'all did a great job. So I'm going to wrap this thing up. Thank y'all for watching. Again, if you all can like, share, leave your thoughts in the comments, consider subscribing because we are, like I said, we're running, we're sprinting, we're walking, we're jogging, we hopping our way to 100,000 subscribers, and I would appreciate if you guys can help me accomplish that incredible goal. But thank y'all. Thank you. Stay safe. I'll see you all on the next review. This is a hell of a movie.